Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading. Well, the year is well underway by now and already strange tidings from Montecito. The first odd story that came out was that Harry and Meghan are not happy in that mansion with the 9 bedrooms and 16 bathrooms and want to move, want to sell, want to move. That story seemingly came from them because it hasn't been denied. And then the next strange story that came out was that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are looking to buy a second home back in the UK. Odd story, Neil Sean's story. And this is all allegedly. He claims he has a very, very good source who is behind this insight. And they are apparently looking to buy a place near Windsor. Reason being that Prince Harry is missing his English country lifestyle. I would say that's the hunting, shooting, fishing lifestyle, friends. But of course, a more sinister reason could be that the Jubilee is going to be starting, the Jubilee celebrations, Platinum Jubilee, going to be starting next month, February. And he wants to be close to Windsor for that. Who knows? But anyway, it is an odd story. I'm going to be trying out a new deck. Well, not new in the sense I've just bought it, but I haven't used it on this channel so far. This is the Bosch Tarot. It's one of those shadow decks that if you look online and you want to buy decks to do somewhat darker readings, the Bosch Tarot comes up based on paintings by Hieronymus Bosch, of course, the famous Flemish artist. I haven't used it on this channel before. I haven't used it myself for a while. I haven't really got into it, I have to say. So this is an experiment for me. But when my hand was hovering over all the cards that I normally use, this one suddenly announced its presence, and so I'm going to go with it and see what happens. It is a kind of a pastoral deck, so if we're talking about country lifestyle, going back to your roots, going back to the olden days, you could say the Hieronymus Bosch, the Bosch Tarot, could be, of course, quite appropriate, especially if it's a little bit warped, a little bit twisted. That's the Markles, that's the Harkles for you. In my opinion, of course, tarot reading for entertainment purposes. So I'm going to be doing a Celtic cross, going to be looking at it particularly from Harry's point of view, but going to be finding out what is going on behind the scenes with this, the real reason for this sudden announcement, the sudden enthusiasm for a home in the UK. Could it be divorce that is beckoning? Harry trying to move back to the UK to safeguard some of his assets. That's one possible explanation for what's going on. We'll see, and we'll see how Harry feels about living in the UK and how Meghan feels about living in the UK and what comes out as the underlying energy, but the 7 of Cups in the reverse. That is when you've run out of options. The 7 of Cups. It's possibilities, delusions when it's in the upright, looking at your options, speculating, pausing to consider where your energy might go, where your dreams might lie, where the future might lie. It's in the reverse. Someone's thrown a bucket of cold water over Prince Harry and he started to wake up. Seems to me very clear from the readings that have been coming through recently that he certainly is beginning to see some unpleasant truths or realize some unpleasant truths. So let's see the heart of the matter, the heart of this reading. The 6 of Swords, and that's the overseas travel card. And of course, we got this card a lot in the days when the Harkles were in the middle of their Megxit. But now, traveling, there is a journey ahead for this person, and a journey across the sea, a journey away from troubles to a more peaceful time. Prince Harry wants to go home. Very simply, 6 of Swords, there it is. He's waking up, he wants to go home. What's the challenge for Prince Harry in this? We get the 8 of Swords in reverse. It's to free himself. 8 of Swords is, of course, the trap, the mental trap that you've put yourself in. And that you can't see a way out of the mess that you have made, but it's now in reverse. He's beginning to see, or his challenge is for him to see. Let's put it like that. His challenge is for him to see that he is not stuck, that there is a way out, there is a way back. I hate to say that because, you know, Schadenfreude is my middle name. And for him to go back to the UK, to be welcomed back to the UK, at least by the royal family, is rather galling, I have to say, given everything that he has done, his poor behaviour, all in my opinion. But anyway, it does look as if he is being possibly slowly counselled that there are ways out of the mess that he is in. Swords always for me represent the law, represent advisors, legal advisors, people like that in the background, courtiers who might be hovering, waiting in the wings and whispering to Prince Harry that you run now, if you run now, you might not have to split all your assets with Meghan Markle. I don't know how the divorce law works in California. I gather it's a 50% state, straight down the middle, if you've lived there long enough. But Prince Harry hasn't lived there for very long. And the royal family always makes sure to announce that Frogmore Cottage is still his home in the UK. And I'm sure that that is for legal reasons, just my very amateur opinion. Anyway, so what's going on behind the scenes? What's his real reason for doing this? Excuse me, we get the Four of Wands in reverse. And that really, it just is the broken home. That unfortunate creature in the Four of Wands is homesick, very unhappy at home. The Four of Wands is the archetypal broken home card, that foundation that should be so stable. Fours are always stable structures. The foundation that should be so stable, such a cause for celebration, happiness, is in reverse. It is broken, it is crumbling. I think that he genuinely hates his life in California, however much he can go around barefoot and on his bicycle and surf and all the rest of it, taking Archie to school as he apparently does, anonymously. Nobody bats an eyelid at Prince Harry, driving little Archie to nursery school. But he hates it, he's unhappy, it's an unhappy home. He is really suffering. Not living his best life, whatever the PR pieces might say to the contrary that are released to places like People magazine. So the focus, and this is all about Harry at the moment, what is the focus? And the focus is the King of Swords in reverse. And I mentioned lawyers and things like that, legal matters, advisors. I think that it is going to be quite difficult for him legally. It seems to be an energy that's coming through in this reading that I keep wanting to head in that direction of legal matters. King of Swords in reverse. The King of Swords is in the upright, very clear, very wise, level-headed, shrewd, incisive, decisive. In the reverse, I think his head is all over the place. He can't see clearly yet. We've seen it with the Eight of Swords in reverse. He can't see his way out of this mess yet. He is going to need good advice. He is going to need people, a team that he can count on, who will cut through all of the complications, the legal issues. There's custody issues, there's mortgages, there's joint assets, there's all kinds of things, income tax, you name it. The foundation that they have set up, if Prince Harry is starting to think, I want to go back to the UK, I want a home in the UK, also a strange energy coming through with that King of Swords, because it was always the Prince Philip card, of course the air sign man, the Gemini in his case, the King of Swords, and it's in the reverse. And I have seen in recent readings that I've done for the Harkles that there was an expectation of money, of an inheritance that didn't come to pass. So possibly Prince Harry was counting on some money that would set him up in the UK, that would fund that purchase, because I'm sure he's not going to buy a renovator's dream in the countryside. He is going to want something substantial, palatial, and there's no money there, and there's legal trouble. Interesting. So what's happened in the past that has led to this decision? King of Pentacles. Well, that's the boss card, the money guy, the person who is very stable, very solid. He thought, and I'm reading this in this context of this particular reading, the King of Pentacles is always the good husband card, the good provider, the person who makes tons of money. He's loyal, he's devoted, he's reliable, you can count on him. But I'm reading this card almost in a reversed energy. That was the past. That's what he thought that he could achieve. Harry, of course, an earth sign man himself, he thought that he could be the King of Pentacles, that he could set up all these foundations, do all these things, earn tons of money, support his family. It would be so easy. And I can hear you all sniggering in the background, or rolling your eyes in the background. I can't hear eyes being rolled, but I can see them, because you all know how hard it is to earn your keep and make ends meet and provide for families, and particularly now in current circumstances, global circumstances. So let's see what's going to be happening in the future with this story. The Ace of Cups, not the One of Cups, it's the Ace of Cups. And that is a new start with the Ace of Cups. It's a very interesting card, the way that this is depicted, and possibly this is the reason why this card has asked to be, this deck has asked to be used today, because it shows movement, it shows travel, it shows air travel. Very interestingly, the Ace of Cups. That cup is floating, there's wings, it almost sails. It's a cup in motion. It's a cup that's almost like a hot air balloon setting off. And I apologize for the dog that's barking in the background. It's a dog that they are moving and packing, and it's going to go on for a while. It's being a bit... its own life is a little bit unstable. Not in a bad way, it's just change, and it's difficult for it. So, Ace of Cups, brave new start, emotional journey that he is making, an emotional journey over that river, back home, back to England. And all that England represents to Prince Harry. I'm not seeing friends here. I'm not seeing Jubilee celebrations. I'm seeing unhappiness. I'm seeing bucket of ice cold water poured over someone. I am seeing someone who's very unhappy in his current home environment, who wants a new start in the old country. Very interesting. So, getting down to the meat of this reading now, how does Harry feel about moving back to the UK? Second home, they're describing it as, but we get the Chariot in reverse. Ooh, that is an interesting card. It's Major Arcana. It's a Cancer card, of course, the Chariot. It is ambitions, it is your drive, your journey, but it's a journey in the reverse. His grand scheme did not work out. And a lot of journeying energy in this reading. We have got the Six of Swords, travel overseas. We've got the Ace of Cups, which has this energy in this reading of motion, of travel. And we have now the Chariot in reverse. His ambitions have come to nothing. He has been derailed. I always see this as the car crash card with Harry and Meghan when it's in the reverse. Harry's driven off the road into the ditch, car's flipped on its roof, tires are spinning, smoke coming out the engine. Haven't had that energy for a while, but it looks as if those plans and schemes, those ambitions, even those political ambitions, those ambitions to be influencers, failed. And now a rather chastening journey home with tail between his legs, I would say, because it's going to be embarrassing, it's going to be humiliating, it's going to be very public, this humiliation, because it is Major Arcana. It's that up there meta level of story when you get Major Arcana. We're all going to see it. And of course Prince William, the Cancerian man, who is doing so well in comparison to Prince Harry's failed efforts to find freedom and to set himself up as the King of Pentacles. There is the King of Pentacles having his car crash. So he's not looking forward to it in the sense of the mortification that's going to come with it, but he needs to do it. He's run out of road, literally, in the US, and his only hope is to go back to the UK. I always, as a South African, dread the day that Prince Harry decides to remake himself in Africa and exploit Africa for his own needs, but that's just my opinion. I'm sure that day will come. Meghan, will we ever see Meghan in that home in the UK? The devil, there she is. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. She is not going back to England. She views England as a diabolical place, as a place where she was trapped, where everybody hated her, where everything was awful, the worst of the worst of the worst kind of a place. It's a major arcana. She really hates the UK. She absolutely hates it. It's she feels chained to it because the devil is a toxic situation that you cannot easily get yourself out of. Ace of Swords there. We've had that energy already with Prince Harry, but it's something she dreads. If she has to go back there, it is going to be going back kicking and screaming. This is really a particularly diabolical devil. She really can't think of anything worse than going to live in the UK again, and particularly out in the country. The Heathrow flight path, of course, straight over Frogmore Cottage, and it looks like Prince Harry is heading a bit like a homing pigeon straight back to Windsor. So hopes and fears for this move, this alleged move. And we had the Six of Wands in reverse, another failure card. Six of Wands, of course, in the upright, it's victory, it's that triumphal return. People are gathered, crowds cheering you as you strut by, or you trot by on your white horse with your laurel wreath in traditional Rider-Waite. This deck, of course, is very far away from the traditional Rider-Waite, and it's one of the reasons why I've resisted using it on this channel. It doesn't lend itself easily to interpretation, but there is the victory card in the upright. In the reverse, it is creeping home, defeated, humiliated, wounded, ego wounded. Six of Wands for me is a narcissistic card, particularly when it's in the upright, and this is that ego, that very damaged ego. Prince Harry is very afraid of making a fool of himself. So the outcome of this return, of this potential return, this alleged return, the Queen of Swords in reverse. It's not going to be easy for Prince Harry. The Queen of Swords very often is Queen Elizabeth, the woman who has gone cold, who has endured many struggles, and has hardened her heart, and now has become very wise, very shrewd. She doesn't make decisions from her heart, she makes them from her head, and it's in the reverse. And when she's in the reverse, she can be really quite nasty, quite vicious, quite cutting. We've got a matching pair here. We've got the King of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse. I'm getting grandparents here. King of Swords, Queen of Swords. It's going to be very difficult for Prince Harry to crawl back now. It also, for me, has a somewhat shrewish energy of Meghan Markle, that his lovely wife is not going to be exactly supportive of this idea. We've seen that with the Devil card, her feelings about this. She's not going to support the idea. I think a lot of tantrums, very angry, in my opinion, of course, allegedly going to be very nasty, going to be some nasty things said about this, because Queen of Swords in reverse, very cruel. She can be really cutting, really damaging verbally. So we might see some quite nasty articles in the press about Prince Harry coming up. I don't think the Queen is going to be rolling out the red carpet for Prince Harry if he crawls back. It doesn't bode well for his attendance at Jubilee celebrations either. That Queen of Swords in reverse. A lot of blocked energy there, a lot of no, you're not welcome. You're not going to ruin my celebrations. You're not going to bring down and cast a shadow, put a stain on 70 years of service to the UK, to the country where you have been so disloyal and just ran away. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a hero's welcome for Prince Harry, and we've seen that with the Six of Wands in reverse. That is very far from a hero's welcome. That is slinking home under cover of darkness and laying low for a while. People may only find out that Prince Harry is back in the UK sometime after he actually returned. So something to look out for. I do think that he's going to be feeling the pain in the press once Meghan Markle sharpens that quill and starts writing, and that looks to me also like a divorce card, or of course, as I keep saying, my opinion. But interesting reading. Cards came through, and I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'll see you on the next one.